Bacon Maple Granola Bars, because bacon makes everything better.
Let's see what's cooking. Let's get the facts. Let's see what's cooking. It's time for yoyomax12.
Hello everyone. The first thing you're going to do is cover a large baking sheet with some aluminum foil. And on top of that, you're going to place 2 1/2 cups of raw rolled oats. Now these aren't the quick oats. These are fairly large flake oats. Put that on the cookie sheet. Then add to that 1 cup of diced pecans and 1/2 cup of raw pumpkin seeds. And you're also going to add 1 cup of raw shelled sunflower seeds. All I could find at my grocery store were the sunflower seeds that were already roasted, but they didn't have any salt in them. So I used those, but I just didn't put them on the cookie sheet because they don't need to be cooked. They're already roasted. Spread the ingredients around and then put this in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 10 minutes, just so that all those ingredients get nice and toasty. Now in a medium-sized saucepan, place 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 cup of coconut oil. Then add 2 teaspoons of maple flavoring and 1/2 cup of honey. The recipe asks for raw honey, but I can't find that around here. All I could find was the pasteurized honey. Then you're going to heat this over medium-low, stirring until all the sugar is dissolved or most of the sugar is dissolved. Then turn the heat up to medium, bring it to a boil, and boil it for about 2 minutes. The longer you boil it, the harder your granola bars will be. Then pour that mixture that came out of the oven into a large bowl. Then take this syrup that you just boiled and pour that over top. Now you're going to do all of this while the ingredients are still hot so that it's easier to stir up and that syrup won't start to solidify on you as you're stirring. I started to stir and then I realized I forgot to add the 1/4 cup of sunflower seeds that I talked about earlier in the video. And you also need to add 1 cup of seeded chopped fresh dates and 1 cup of diced bacon bits. Now the dates I used were the dried dates. They are not fresh dates, but that's all I could find in my grocery store. You also need 1/2 cup of chopped up dark chocolate. Take half of that, put it in the mixture and stir it around. Now I used semi-sweet chocolate chips instead of using chopped up chocolate. Put the mixture into a greased 9 by 13 inch pan or one that's been covered with greased aluminum foil like I'm doing here. Press it down firmly with a spatula or your fingers, and then you can sprinkle the other half of that 1/2 cup of chocolate chips on the top. Press those down and pop it back in the oven at 350 degrees for another 5 minutes or so. Take it out, let it cool completely, and cut it into bars. I put mine in the refrigerator after they had cooled out of the oven just to firm them up a little bit. And as you can see, they're still quite soft. They are not a crunchy granola bar. They are a tender bar, but they hold together quite well. Okay, now for my overall impressions of this recipe. Well, I should tell you I took this entire batch of bars and I took them to work and I gave them to a bunch of coworkers at the beginning of their shift early morning. And without exception, each person that tried these says they really enjoyed them. Now I've made similar bars to these, but these ones had the addition of bacon. Now what I can tell you is that they taste sweet, but they also have that savory, salty flavor from the bacon. The only thing I would do differently if I were to make these again is I would keep the bacon in larger pieces, because I think you couldn't even tell there was bacon in them because the bacon bits were so tiny. So I would maybe put a little less bacon, maybe 3/4 of a cup instead of a whole cup, and I would make the pieces bigger so that they are more obvious in the bars. Other than that, they're delicious. Give them a try. Now on your screen right now are those other granola bars that I talked about earlier that I've made before. These are called chewy date and seed bars. They are quite similar in a lot of respects, but there's a couple of different ingredients inside there. These are also really good and don't contain chocolate or bacon. So these might be more appealing to you depending on what your tastes are. So if you're interested, go ahead and click on your screen or see the link in the About section below. Thanks for watching.